Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel where we talk about real crimes and real people. Please do subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell button and give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. And after doing all those thingies YouTube asks you to do to support content creators, let's get started. And what do I bring you today? Today, I bring you the kidnapping and death of YingYing Zhang. YingYing is allegedly the 13th victim of a serial killer, but I'm gonna leave that one to you to decide. Did her killer really kill her? Was she a victim of a serial killer? Let's find out what happened. YingYing Zhang was born on December 21st, 1990 in Nanping, Fuzhou, China. YingYing had a younger brother. She had a boyfriend named Xiaolin Hu, whom she planned to marry in October 2017. While YingYing was currently living in the USA, her parents, brother, and boyfriend lived in China. YingYing was described as caring, brilliant, mature, and compassionate. She enjoyed singing, playing the guitar, reading, and much more. She played in a band, and she wanted to become a professor in China. YingYing Zhang was an accomplished student who showed a promising future. In 2013, she graduated top of her class from Sun Yat-sen University, and in 2016, she graduated from Beijing University. YingYing was a visiting scholar in the Chinese Academy of Sciences. But YingYing didn't want to end there. In 2017, YingYing moved to the US to do research for 1 year on photosynthesis and crop productivity at the College of Agriculture, Consumer, and Environmental Sciences at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. She also wanted to do a doctoral program. But things didn't end up well for YingYing. On June 9th, 2017, everything changed. Tragedy struck and YingYing Zhang would never be seen ever. YingYing wanted to sign a new lease on an off-campus apartment complex. And on that day, June 9th, that was the day. She was running late. She texted the leasing agent she was late. She was going to meet the agent by bus. YingYing was on a Champaign-Urbana Mass Transit District bus in Urbana, but that bus couldn't take her all the way. She needed to change buses, so that's what she did, or better yet, she wanted to do. She skipped a bus to enter another one, but she was on the wrong side of the bus stop. YingYing saw the bus. She tried to signal the bus to stop, but the bus didn't. Why? Because she wasn't on the right side. It was company policy because they wanted to prevent people running into traffic. And the result of this, YingYing missed the bus. So what did she do? She went to another bus stop. Surveillance footage showed a black Saturn Astra passing YingYing 2 times. Then YingYing got into that car and she was never seen again. The lease agent was waiting for YingYing. The agent texted YingYing, but YingYing never replied. Because YingYing was unreachable later that day, an associate professor called the police to report YingYing missing. And the search for YingYing began. The University of Illinois Police Department and Urbana Police Department worked together with the FBI. There was a $10,000 reward for information on the whereabouts of YingYing Zhang. The Chinese student community also helped search for YingYing. Some tips came in on an alleged sightseeing which turned out to be not true. While investigating the disappearance, authorities checked surveillance footage to track YingYing. They saw her on a video skipping the bus, and they also saw a black Saturn Astra she got in. But the thing is, they couldn't identify the plate of that car, but they noticed something peculiar. The hubcap of the passenger's wheel was cracked. The car also had a rooftop. Authorities found there were 18 four-door black Saturn Astra registered to the area. One of them belonged to a man called Brendt Allen Christensen, a Champaign resident. Brendt was born on June 30th, 1989. He was a former PhD student at the University of Illinois. He had a bachelor degree in math and and physics. He also had a master's degree in physics from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. So there was a good chance here this guy could be the one in the footage. He had the car and he went to the same university YingYing went. Brendt married in 2011, but this was an open marriage. His wife had a boyfriend and Brendt had a girlfriend. At the time of YingYing's disappearance, Brendt's wife was out of town. Brendt was a person of interest. On June 12, 2017, Brendt was interviewed. He stated he didn't remember what he was doing the day YingYing disappeared. He was either sleeping or playing video games. On June 14th, surveillance footage showed the rooftop of the car was similar to Brendt's. They also noticed Brendt's car had a cracked hubcap, and the police determined it was Brendt's car in the video footage. On June 15, the local police and FBI questioned Brendt again, and they also executed a search warrant for his car, which showed the passenger's door appeared to be more clean than the other doors. It seemed as something was done to conceal or destroy evidence, allegedly. During questioning, Brendt admitted to giving a ride to an Asian female and that he dropped her a few blocks after picking her up because the girl panicked. At the same time he was being interviewed, agents were searching his apartment. They got permission from the other person who was living in the apartment for a search and seizure of items. They took a computer, cell phone, which belonged to Brendt. They also got a federal search warrant for a forensic examination of the phone. On June 17, 2017, YingYing's father, aunt, and brother arrived in the US. Brendt was placed under surveillance. Brendt's girlfriend was approached by the FBI to wear a wire, and she said yes, she wanted to exonerate him. It was a way for her to truly know who was this person she was dating, and at the same time maybe make sure it wasn't him who had taken YingYing. While searching the apartment, authorities found a wooden baseball bat which contained, according to analysis, Zhang's blood traces, and they also found traces of blood in other areas of the apartment. Later that month, there was a vigil, a memorial walk for YingYing. Brendt and his girlfriend attended. This was a day Tara, his girlfriend, decided to wear the wire and record Brendt maybe confessing to take YingYing, and during the recording, Brendt eventually confessed to abducting and killing YingYing. Brendt was heard telling he took YingYing to his apartment against her will, and how did he convince her to get into his car? He posed as an undercover police officer. He stopped the car, showed his fake badge to YingYing and told her to get in the car, which she did. Unfortunately, he said he choked, assaulted, stabbed YingYing in his bedroom. He then dragged her into the bathroom, beat her with the baseball bat, and then decapitated her to make sure she was dead. He described Zhang as valiant. She fought back. She seemed supernatural and didn't give up. Brendt also bragged about being a serial killer. He had been killing since he was 19, and YingYing was his 13th victim. He admired Ted Bundy, and he also said his victim count was bigger than Jeffrey Dahmer and John Wayne Gacy. Brendt also told Tara he wouldn't tell her or anyone where he hid YingYing's body. She was never to be found. On June 30th, on his birthday, Brendt was arrested and charged with kidnapping under federal law, which states if a kidnapping results in the death of any person, there was an immediate sentence of life in prison or the death penalty. Phone searches showed in April 2017, Brendt used his phone to access a sexual fetish website called FetLife and a forum called Abduction 101. At a court hearing, his bail was denied. YingYing was still missing, and he was the last person to see her. On July 12, 2017, Brendt was formally indicted, and this is what the indictment stated. He, Brendt Allen Christensen, willfully and unlawfully seized, confined, inveigled, decoyed, kidnapped, abducted and carried away Zhang. He held her for his own benefit and purpose, used and caused to be used a means, facility, and instrumentality of interstate commerce, namely a Motorola cellular phone and a Saturn Astra motor vehicle, in committing and furtherance of the commission of the offense. There's a lot of words in there. Well, at his arraignment, Brendt pled not guilty. The trial started in June 2019. Brendt's attorneys admitted he killed YingYing and that he was fighting for his life because he could face a death penalty. So, basically, he killed YingYing because he wanted to, but now he was fighting for his life. Evidence showed before kidnapping YingYing, Brendt had tried to abduct another woman by posing as, wait for it, an undercover officer. He asked her to get into his car and she said no, and he took off. The woman reported this to the police and she posted the incident on social media to alert people. Brendt's girlfriend testified and she said Brendt seemed proud and excited when he described how he killed YingYing. Then on June 24th, 2019, Brendt Allen Christensen was found guilty of kidnapping resulting in death and also guilty of 2 counts of making a false statement to the FBI. The jury couldn't be unanimous, sentencing to death, so he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Well, some of you might be thinking no body, no crime, but in a plea to remove the death penalty off the table, Brendt confessed what he had done with YingYing's body. He allegedly dismembered her body. He put it in 3 separate bags, disposed them in the dumpster outside his apartment. He dumped YingYing's belongings in several dumpsters in the Champaign area. The dumpster where he disposed YingYing's body was taken to a private landfill in Vermilion County. It was compacted at least twice, spread over an area of 50 yards, buried under 30 feet of garbage. The search for the remains hasn't begun. It is believed YingYing's remains may be now the size of a cell phone. It was also discovered that in March 2017, Brendt had actually sought treatment for his substance abuse issues. He had suicidal and homicidal thoughts. He discussed his depression, marital issues. He developed an obsession with serial killers, thinking about killing someone and getting away with it. YingYing's family tried to sue the 2 social workers who Brendt talked to about his issues, but a judge decided those 2 social workers couldn't be held accountable for Brendt's actions. Do you agree with this decision? Aren't they guilty of being negligent and failing to report him to the authorities? And there's another question. Do you think he was telling the truth when he said YingYing was his 13th victim? Was he a serial killer, or do you think he decided to take action on his ideations, found his first victim, but he was caught the first time? He wanted to be like Ted Bundy, but he was caught right away. So he lied so people would think he was a notorious serial killer who had gotten away with at least 12 murders. Did he deserve the death penalty?